welcome ආයුබෝවන්. Learning languages. එක භාෂාවන් ඉගෙන ගන්න එක ගැන තමයි මේ මාතෘකාව අපි focus කරන්න යන්නේ. Practice question 1. What do you think? Do you like learning languages? කැමතිද විවිධ භාෂාවන් ඉගෙන ගන්න? I actually can't speak many languages, but I would like to learn many languages. What is the most effective language learning method for you? I think living in that native country and then using visual aids and auditory would help me, auditory learning methods would help me to learn the language effectively. What languages do you speak? I speak Sinhala and English. How did you learn the languages that you know? Well, obviously Sinhala is my mother tongue. English I learned from school and from my parents at home. Are you learning any foreign languages at the moment? No, I'm not. Because I really don't have the time, so I'm not learning any foreign languages. Do you think learning languages is important? Yes, I think learning languages is very important. The reason is you will be able to communicate effectively. So say that you know Mandarin, right? Or you know Spanish. When you go to that country, you could communicate more effectively. So I think it's really useful to learn different languages. Can you learn more than one language at a time? I don't know, but usually I think for kids they can learn more than one language at a time. For adults, yes, they could if they put a lot of effort. I think they should be able to. Do you think that English is difficult to learn? Why not? I sometimes think English is difficult to learn. The reason is even when you take pronunciation, the letter A, for an example, is apple, but in A for aeroplane is a. So you have the stronger sound, you have the weaker sound, and then you have the different grammar rules. So I think it's a bit difficult for students if they try to learn the language. But if they actually live in an English-speaking country, I think it's much easier. What do you think you should do to overcome the difficulties of learning a foreign language? My strong advice is that you should expose yourself to the language as much as possible. So watch movies, listen to podcasts, listen to TED Talks, speak to native speakers, or go and live in a country that speaks English or any other foreign language you want to practice. Do you think foreigners should learn your country's language if they want to live in your country? Well, Sri Lanka is a country where lots of people actually speak English, so it might not necessarily be that they learn Sinhala or Tamil because we speak Sinhala or Tamil as a mother tongue. So I don't think it's really necessary, but it would be nice if they do because then they can, communicate much easily. So I don't think it's necessary, but I think it would be good if they do. Right. Question 2. Learning languages. What kind of qualities should a language teacher have? Some students hate to learn foreign languages. What can teachers do to develop their interest? So I think language teachers should find ways to teach the language. It's not just putting the tense on the board and say, okay, this is present tense, this is past tense, but they should find activities to ensure that you check understanding and that the students enjoy learning the language. Breaking down the language when you teach it to make it easier would actually help them. And to have patience and to make it interesting is what a language teacher should really do. Now, some of the students hate to learn foreign languages because either it's difficult, it's taught in a very complex manner, and then they get really demotivated. So what can teachers do to develop their interest is teach with activities, not just teach, right? But make sure that you teach something and you check the understanding. So you could do a variety of activities. You could have stirrers and settlers. ඒ කියන්නේ හොඳට දුවලා පැනලා කරන activities උයි ඉඳගෙන ලියලා කරන ඒවයි. So ඒ දෙකම එතකොට මයිට කරන්න පුළුවන් කතා කරන ඒවා ලියන ඒවා කියවලා තේරුම් ගන්න පුළුවන් ඒවද. So make sure that you check their understanding depending on what you taught. So it could be reading, writing, listening or speaking. What are the advantages of learning more than one language? So it is to be able to communicate with people in different cultures, and also it's easy to communicate if you know their mother tongue. Why do people want to learn a foreign language? For job opportunities, for certain exams, academic purpose. Some people just do it for fun. Which language is likely to become dominant in the future? I think English is obviously dominant at the moment. Russian could become dominant in the future. Maybe Chinese could become dominant in the future as well. Do you think that all children should learn foreign languages at school? I definitely think they should. They should be given the opportunity to learn different languages, maybe French, Italian, Spanish, different other languages. Why are some people seemingly better at studying languages than the others? Does one's age affect language learning? I think some people are really good at learning languages because they enjoy it. And I think when you're actually younger, you could learn much faster. It doesn't mean that older people cannot. It just means when you're younger, it's easier to grasp things. So it's much faster, the learning process. Why is language an important aspect of culture? So culture has different facts influencing it. You have your dress, the language, the food. Language is how you communicate, and that is very important when you are living in a particular country, because that's the way how you talk, that's the way how you express your ideas. So culture and language are connected to each other. All right, practice question 3. This is how I learnt. You don't say learned, you say learnt. So it's the t sound. Typical part 2 question. Okay. Describe a thing you did to learn another language. What language you learnt, what you did, how it helped you learn the language, and how you felt about it. So one thing that I did to learn Tamil language was to watch Tamil movies, and actually it helped me because I was able to understand certain words. I wouldn't say I could understand everything, but when the word, I heard it and obviously the meaning went below, I was able to remember at least a few words. Now, I just didn't watch it. I also made sure that the subtitles were there so that when I heard the meaning, when I heard the word, I could obviously also get the meaning. There was a bit of a problem because the word order or the structure way of a sentence in Sinhala and Tamil is different to English. So that issue was there, but basically, more or less, I could learn certain words, and that really helped me. I felt really happy because I was picking up on certain words, and I actually love to learn Tamil, but obviously I didn't get the chance. But time to time, whenever I have time, I try to keep myself posted with new words and try to understand the language. Practice question 4. Here's a nice one for you to practice. Describe the first time you used a foreign language to communicate. You should say what the situation was, where you were, who you communicated with, and explain why you used a foreign language to communicate on this occasion. So ඔගොල්ලන්ට ඉංග්‍රීසි භාෂාව පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්. නැත්නම් ඔගොල්ලන්ට බොරුවක් හැටියට හිතලා මම මේ භාෂාව මේගොල්ලොත් එක්ක කතා කරන්න පාවිච්චි කරා කියලා කියන්න පුළුවන්. It doesn't have to be a truthful answer, but if it's truthful, it's easier because then you can connect your idea as well. Okay? So I wouldn't always want you to give a truthful answer, but for a question like this, I would definitely come up with a context which is not true, because apart from Sinhala and English, I mean, English is taught in Sri Lanka, though it's a foreign language, and we use it quite often. So I would want to talk about a different language, and then definitely I would make up that scenario. So make sure that you say something, you answer the question, and that you're not silent. Okay? And the last question, my favorite language learning experience. Tell about the sweetest, funniest, or memorable incident that happened to you in a language class. ඉතින් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මතක හොඳම ජොලිම නැත්නම් මතක හිටිනම අවස්ථාව මොකද්ද? මොන හරි language class එකක ඒ language එක ඉගෙන ගන්නකොට වෙච්ච දෙයක් හැටියට. All right? Okay, so quite a short lesson. Okay, and with that we come to the end of this lesson, learning languages.